Hey, hello, welcome back in. It is another week of That SEC Powers Hour. We call it that because I'm Randy, last name Powers. That's my brother Show. His last name's Powers. So welcome him in, Joe. How you doing? We've had a
What's
busy day.
up?
Let's just start this. Just know, fellas, we have had a busy day today. We have been all over the place, but we're here for you. So come on in, get a drink. Let's have a good time. Joe, what's going on?
Man, I'm just glad to be out of a car. We drive around the state all day long. That's all we do. And
I
I'm
know.
happy to be sitting in the studio, not in a car, but glad to see all the folks hanging out with us here, getting ready to see how we match up on this scoreboard. What's
Yeah.
going on in college football this week?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Well, those people who trust us enough to come and hang out with us for a little while, hoping to have a good time, they recognize that we took last week off, vacation
oh, yeah.
week. You got to squeeze in vacations where you can. The kids are out of school, so we had some stuff going on. So we took a little vacation. I appreciate y'all coming on back and hanging out with us for a minute. But don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging because we're actually going to look back at last weekend. Because if you noticed in the title of this episode, I
Yeah.
talked about how I watched a little top 25 while I was on vacation, and it was just full of lies and mistruths out there in the college football landscape.
Mm.
So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, we're going to look around at this week's slate of games. There's not a lot, but there are a couple that are sort of big top tier kind of good stuff. So that's good to see. And of course, we're going to look outside the footprint. We're going to pick the big games around the country. It's all going to be a good time. It's all going to be a good time. So if we're here to have a good time, Joe, I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, I brought my fun time stuff. So you guys, you can settle in. I'm going to pour myself a drink
Yeah.
right here because we're going to have a good time. Joe,
Mm.
while I'm pouring myself a drink, why don't you let the people know about how it is you were able to sit with me every week?
Oh yeah, every week we sit in here, have a good time, and talk about high school, college, mainly college. High school stuff's on Friday night, but we do that thanks to Eyeballs Marketing and Media right here, bringing you this show from the Powers Hour every week, and you can catch Eyeballs Marketing and Media at wrbjradio.com, and you can find out all the cool things they do. Basically, if you want to put a logo on something, see that football behind me there? Got a logo on it. See that red banner behind me? Logo on it. You can find it and put a logo on anything pretty much that you want at eyeballsmarketingandmedia.com. Be sure and tell them that we sent you here from the Powers Hour. It'd be great. So check them out.
That's right, Joe. We like to champion this show as like one of the most interactive shows here on YouTube for Bulldog Nation, and our group they do not let us down. Notice my boy Jay Shipes, my man, he's already here with us. He's a longtime supporter of the channel. He's in here with us, looking to have a good time this evening. I look up right here, and what do I see? Do you remember that fella who says that he doesn't know your name, but you know what you're talking about? Well, this
Yeah.
is not that fella. This is that fella's brother. This is Raj, Herb's brother. Raj finally making an appearance. I busted his chops up earlier this week about how we never saw him on the show. So here he is. He's with us. Raj, thanks, man. Thanks for being here. We appreciate the support.
Good to see you, man.
And of course, look who it is. Harry's back. Harry is in here with us every week on all the shows. I appreciate it very much. Joe took just a second to let you know about the people that make it possible for him to be here. And I'm going to do the same. Last night, we had a wonderful stream, and I just want to take this opportunity to remind everybody that if you like what we're doing here at ADB, you can become a member of the channel for as little as $1 a month. Last night, we had a wave of new people join the channel as members. Jay was one of those individuals. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to the other new members. And trust me, we're going to have good stuff for you coming down the pipeline, so I appreciate you being here. And one of the other things I want to bring to your attention, if you notice, wait, where is it? Right over there? Wait, this way. Right, right over there. Skull shaver. Now, see, here's the thing, y'all. I have 2 little girls. And if you're a parent, that's a great thing. If you're the parent of 2 little girls and they look at you and say, "Daddy, you look great." I'm like, "Well, thank you, baby." It just melts my heart. The reason I look great is thanks to the good people at Skull Shaver. Because you see this dome, it takes a lot of work to keep this under control. There's hair here, no hair here. You see how that works? You got to make it look good. If you or somebody you know needs to look your very best, I hope you'll look into what Skull Shaver has to offer for you. They got everything for men, women, shavers, trimmers, all that stuff. I personally have the Beast Pro. Beast, get it? Beast Pro. And it does wonders for me. So all that stuff's in the description below. If you care, check them out. Trust me, it's a great gift. You will not be sorry. All right, now that we're through all that stuff, and you got to do that, you know. But now that we're through all that stuff, let's talk about last weekend, Joe. Now, like I said, I was on vacation. So it was a little hit and miss for me as to exactly what I was able to see. Okay. You know, we're in and out, we're having dinner, we're at the beach. You know how it goes when you're on vacation, right?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. I had the opportunity, I was able to sort of sneak in a little view at the TV every now and again. And then when we got back home, you know, the DVR was running. So I was stuff that I hadn't been able to see earlier. And let me tell you, what I saw was nothing but lies. Two, you know, and they're playing Indiana. And did you know, Joe, that Michigan, the number 2 team in the country, has only played one team this season with a winning record? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did actually. Rutgers,
Rutgers.
that away. That away, Michigan, Big Blue.
For
Good
all
God.
that talk, people, everybody wants to beat up on Georgia. I'm just saying, look around the country. It is, you know, that's what happens until you get into the meat of your conference schedule most times. So it's not a big deal. But then I looked around, and some of these games kind of held the form. Nothing really, you know, upset me. The Oregon-Washington game was pretty good. You know, I'm not going to knock that one. That was pretty good. Nobody was really lying to me there. Michael Penix, you know, he's getting it done. But then you look at the next one you see there, USC and Notre Dame. That is nothing but a basket of lies.
That's terrible.
Pick a side. Pick a side.
Yeah.
USC, everybody's been all season telling me how their defense was going to be better, how the playmakers from the transfer portal were going to make a big difference, how they were going to just blow everybody off the field with their offense, how Caleb Williams was going to win the Heisman again.
Yeah.
Lies. Awful lies. That team is not good. I mean, Lincoln Riley is exactly who we thought he was. And his team looks like, at this point, I think it's a dereliction of duty. He is stealing money right now from USC. He's only fielding 1/3 of a football team. I mean, there we go.
I mean, that's kind of what it's like right there. All these people talking about USC and Notre Dame. They're in a virtual world, baby. It's virtual. They don't know. We watched it with our own 2 eyes.
In the virtual world. That is some good prop use right there. Everybody, we need a round of applause. That is good stuff. I applaud that. That's good. Yeah. So Notre Dame. I mean, I'm not going to call Notre Dame out, but we saw them earlier get exposed against Ohio State, you know, for their inadequacies. These rankings early in the year, I don't know what to make of them. And then Arkansas and Alabama. There were a bunch of lies there too. I thought Alabama had sorted out their business. I thought Alabama had figured out how to play a little offensive line, right? How to hit a wide receiver. You know, they put up some points against, what was it, Mississippi State, and I bit into it. And no, they still don't. They're still figuring it out. They're still figuring it out. They want me to think that they're a top 10 team. They're right there at number 11 the week of this game, and I'm just like, top 10 teams don't play half a game. Right? They played the first half, and then the second half, Arkansas came out and did kind of what they wanted. So I don't know what Alabama is. And then Miami and North Carolina. I mean, look, North Carolina is better than most people think they are. So, but Miami is a fraudulent, erroneous. They are not. I don't know. Anything I'm saying to you here, did it get on you the way it got on me? Because I'm just looking down through here, and I'm like, Louisville, top 15 team, upset win over Notre Dame, right? And then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh, a bad Pittsburgh team, just punched them in the face. Just bam. I mean, so the thing that makes college football great is also the thing that I'm calling out here, because, my goodness, man, lies. There are lies and there are damn lies. And I'm not sure if I'm putting anything at that category yet, but man.
I don't know, man. I couldn't find a game to settle on and watch. I mean, I kept flipping back and forth, and I was like, this is not good football. It's not
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Tried to watch a little bit of that Notre Dame game, couldn't do it. Just I hate Notre Dame anyway. But tried to watch a little bit of the Tennessee and the Texas A&M game. I'm a Texas A&M fan.
Yeah.
Couldn't really watch it though. Couldn't enjoy it. Auburn LSU, nope, same deal. Couldn't enjoy it. I was like, where is the good football gone? I'm not sure. But they just throw numbers beside any team today, apparently. Put them up there like, oh, look.
Texas A&M and Tennessee.
Shiny thing.
I know. Yeah. That game was so ugly. I can't think of a better word to describe that game. And then Kansas and Oklahoma State. I wanted to believe in Kansas. No, lies. Oklahoma State, put it on them. Kentucky, Missouri, put it on them. I mean, lies. That's kind of how I felt about that, Joe. I mean, I don't know. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and tease a little something right here. I'm going to go ahead and tease a little something. I'm going to let everybody know because, again, we were rolling along with our season predictions, and then we get to the point where we had to take a little vacation break, right? And so we just sort of rehashed back over that. As we look at that, Joe, before the last round of games that we picked, that was the week before the vacation. I'm going to share those results and our season standings here in a few. But after we saw the games last week,
go ahead.
I mean, what are you thinking about as far as just college football in general? Do you think you know any more right now than you knew a month ago and that you can actually bank on? Do you know who anybody is really?
No. That's why I just went ahead and poured a stiff one. I'm just like, I don't even know.
Social.
It's good stuff.
If you got them, drink them, fellas. If you got them, drink them. Oh, my goodness.
Cheers, folks.
Yeah, I'm on a little Four Roses, in case I didn't show you all the bottle. A little Four Roses tonight's what I'm sipping on.
Yeah. I'm a Woodford guy myself, Woodford Reserve.
Ah, boy.
There you go.
Yeah. So do you think you know anything? Do you think you know anything any more than you did, Joe?
No, I really don't. I mean, let's talk about the things I've enjoyed as we've gone through this show.
Sure.
You've heard me talk about Tennessee, heard me talk about Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard me talk about my hatred for Notre Dame and for Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? Notre Dame, Mizzou, Kentucky, all of it. Just, I mean, I just don't even know why. Don't even know why. I can't figure it out. I don't understand.
Look,
South Carolina, that game, it's garbage. All of it.
That Florida South Carolina game, like, I don't know. The Dogs play Florida next weekend, so we'll talk about that next week. But like, I didn't know that either of those. I guess I maybe knew that South Carolina had that in them, like the ability to choke it away. Not make a play when they did. Oh, you got to go look at you're gonna go look at Shane Beamer's broken foot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna. This is how I'm gonna watch football this weekend. They're just right here.
Oh man, I promise you guys,
I'm gonna watch football.
In case y'all don't know, this is unscripted.
Didn't know I had the virtual, did you? Didn't know. Y'all didn't know.
I don't know.
I come at you in 3D, baby.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything either. And it's about my dogs too. I mean, because when the night we went on vacation, they destroyed Kentucky, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's Georgia," and then they roll out the next week and handle Vanderbilt, 17-point win on the road inside the conference. I'll take it every day of the week. But of course, we had the injury, and that's going to have an effect on the rest of our season. If you want to know my full thoughts about that, check out the podcast. It's up on the YouTubes now, so you can go check that out. But we talked about that a lot last night on the live stream. And when I look around the country, I mean, the Big Ten is still 3 teams. I'm putting Penn State in that discussion right now, but there's not a whole lot else there that impresses me. And when you look out west, we saw what a fraud USC is. I mean, how anybody can look at that team and still consider them a playoff contender, or even
good Lord, don't turn it to ESPN,
or even consider Caleb Williams.
People must have stock in USC.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you gotta pimp the brands. You know what I mean? That they know they're trying to get eyeballs. But I mean, after that performance, Caleb Williams should be like well down any discussion for any individual awards, right? I mean, there are other quarterbacks out there doing other things as far as the Davey O'Brien and as far as the Heisman's concerned. Look around. There are plenty of players having great seasons. He should not just stay up there because he won it last year. I mean, that's just how I feel. But they can still win the Pac-12. I mean, they can still get that done. And we're going to touch on some of those games this week. But, at the ACC, I mean, at this point, I'm like, is it Florida State or is it North Carolina? Now, somebody on this show told us, right? Somebody told us to look out for that, how that was going to go down. Now that he said Duke, so Duke and North Carolina are going to have to sort that out. But this weekend, there's a big game, right? That's going to matter as far as Duke is concerned. So we'll talk about that one. I'm not seeing. Every team has a flaw, right? There's nothing out there, my squad included.
And before we get too far away from the conversation we were having there about the Heisman,
yeah.
If anybody comes to me, stands in front of me, near me, on a phone near me, and I hear somebody say something about Bo Nix being in a Heisman, I'm just going to slap. I'm pimp slapping somebody. I'm going to knock the phone out of your hand. I don't know, but don't talk to me about Bo Nix being in a Heisman running. Don't.
If they had beaten Washington, I could live with it. I could let that ride. But you lost it on the field head to head to another of the same position who played better. So I think that kind of you played yourself out of it right there. Yeah. Played yourself out of it right there. So all right, so let's jump back over here. Let's get back in this two shot because I want to put some of these. I want to put some of these comments on the screen right here because James is letting everybody know. James, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you leaving a comment. All college teams have flaws, my dogs included. Go Dogs. Dogs can be champs again, and they know it. And I know it, and you know it. Have to continue to get better, have to continue to work. But they got to show up every week. You can't mess around. I mean, that's what we see. Auburn showed us that, right? Here's Raj checking in. Notre Dame's quarterback looks like one of the richest. I hadn't read it before I put it on the screen. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Very right well there. Done. Raj checking in from Texas. Oh, my goodness. Harry is always active in the chat, and we appreciate it. And he's touching on it right here. Even SoCal fans are getting fed up with Lincoln Riley. Yeah. My buddy Matt Zimick, who I had on the preview show at the beginning of the season, he is the publisher, the lead editor for Trojans Wire. And so he is on the Trojans beat. But the thing about it is, I mean, I honestly don't know if he's a Trojans fan, probably, but that's not the point. He's a professional first. And he flat out, after that Notre Dame game, Matt got on YouTube on one of the shows he was on, and he was like, this team is just soft. They're soft. They're not improving. They are soft. And until you fix that problem, until Lincoln Riley makes a commitment to do the things he has to do to stop employing his friends and start employing, go get it kind of killer coaches, they're just going to be soft. He's just going to get paid, and they're going to have a good time and be a 9-3 Holiday Bowl team. That's what they're going to be. And I just stood back on Twitter, and I was like, atta boy, Matt. Just call them straight out because that's what you got to do. That's what they are, man. I cannot buy into whatever USC is. I mean, they can score, but as bad as that offensive line is against anybody with a pulse, that is even in question. Again, look what Notre Dame did to them. So
Notre Dame.
I know. And I mean, to Harry's point, Matt brought up, he was like, we did a preview when Lincoln Riley was hired. We had an Oklahoma expert on, and he said, pay attention. It's going to come down to player development. It's going to come down to strength and conditioning. And will he make the tough decisions to get the right kind of coaches? And so far, Lincoln Riley has proven he won't do that. He won't change. And until he does, USC is going to be a non-factor on the national stage. So they were all I heard in the offseason was wait until 24. We're going to take over the Big Ten. They were going to come in and dominate the Big Ten. Michigan and Ohio State, but damned, they can't even handle what's happening out west right now. So, I am out on USC until we see some major things right there change. Now, Harry's getting ahead of us here. He's like, I think Duke slows down FSU, but without that quarterback, I don't see them winning. So, Harry, maybe you heard what I didn't hear. The latest I've heard about Riley is that, and it's probably just coach speak, but he said, Elko said, I think he's going to be healthy enough, or might be healthy enough, to give it a go Saturday night. So if you have an update, I'd love to hear it. Best I've heard is he's hinting at it, probably a smoke screen. Without Riley, I'm with you. I don't think they get it done. But if Riley plays, who knows? But then again, Duke is on the road. That's going to be a tall task. So now here my boy Raj checking in. He's just straight bringing the thunder, jumping straight into the question. What do y'all think Georgia's flaw is? Now, you could take this a lot of different ways. So, Joe, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, yeah, I'll answer that one, no problem.
All right.
And this is ironic considering, my background and what I enjoy, because for you guys that don't know, I'm a baseball I like baseball. That's my sport. Played baseball in college.
Yep.
I enjoy football. Football's great, but I'm a baseball guy at heart. Okay. And Georgia's biggest flaw is this. Carson Beck, if y'all remember, was a really, really good baseball player. He was drafted, offered opportunities before he decided to sign a scholarship and go to the University of Georgia.
Yes, he was.
And that is also his biggest flaw. One thing that you look at is if you think back to last year and the national championship before that,
okay,
Stetson Bennett is one of those guys that's going to get up, get fired up, get the team up on emotions, and he's going to go do that thing, right? Okay. Carson Beck is not that guy. Carson Beck is the cool baseball mindset. He is a baseball guy. And that just doesn't translate to putting the team on your shoulders, moving them down the field, marching forward like Stetson Bennett would do, or some of those more just intense, into the game, let the emotions go and be wild, play football. That is not what Carson Beck does. And it is going to be the thing that keeps them from really just exploding and kind of going to that next level. He's great. He's got an arm, and he's a good psychological player. Okay. I mean, he can get it done. He's going to think through it. He knows what the checks are. He knows how to run the offense, but he is just too cool. He's a baseball guy.
Okay. So I hear everything you're saying. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but I see that as a bonus, because when he threw that pick against Vandy this week, what did he do? Turned and ran and just threw his body.
Oh yeah.
So I'm saying his players know, his teammates know that he's a gamer. They know that he's going to step up and give it everything he's got. Do you have to say it? Does he have to grab somebody by the face mask or headbutt them? I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. There are times when you got to get in somebody and let them know what it's all about. I agree. I just don't know that it's going to be the detriment that maybe you think it is.
I'm not even considering it. It's not a detriment. Right. It's just the game is different. And I think that you got to be out of control to a degree,
a little bit,
even as a quarterback, to kind of get to that next level. And it's a benefit in some cases. It's not a detriment. It's just he doesn't like that fuse. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I agree with you that to play football, first off, you got to be a little bit crazy. And then to be good at it, you got to walk out there on the edge. I mean, you got to live out there, and take some chances where you don't know what's going to happen. Now, but again, I say we've seen him through his play, the passes he makes and things like that. He's not afraid to put the ball in the hole. You know what I mean? Like, he'll stick it in there. So, but I hear you. I'm not, pushing back on it too much. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Now, notice here, Harry's with me. He kind of falls where he's like a silent, like he's a killer, but he's just not loud about it. So I would agree with that. I think that's a pretty good read on it. And there was another comment here. Harry answered the question directly, so I want to address this too. Injuries impeding team development. I think there's a lot to be said for that as far as Georgia's concerned, because so far in the season, they have had a musical chairs of sorts across the field, like at all the position groups. And cohesion and finding that rhythm, there is a lot to be said for that. So that could be something. But of course, the flip side of that is you're building depth and experience and all that kind of stuff too. So maybe it works both ways. it's interesting. That's an interesting question. Oh, now here's Jay. Jay's letting us know. Now, I don't know that I'm going to. Jay's like, I'm straight up happy. He's like anybody but Stetson. Now, I don't know, Jay. I don't know how, I'm not much on the Stetson slander, but I'm sure you feel the way you feel, and that's fine. I'm sure you got a good reason. But I told everybody I was not concerned about Carson Beck. I actually thought he was going to have a great year. And so far, he's doing really good. And this is where Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint said that about Beck. He's like, no, that's a dog. He threw that ball and then he went and got that dude. And so I'm with him on that. Before we get too far, I want to go ahead and recognize 225 girl who jumped in the broadcast with us. What's up? She was with us last night. She's another one of us that's from the 706, and she is hanging in here with us tonight. So welcome in 225. That is great. And Jay's like, let's see what Beck looks like when he's 27. I don't know. We'll probably see that in the league if I'm guessing. We'll see what he looks like then. But I hear you. A little love inside the chat. We always love that. What does Chris have to say? D-line and a lack of pass rush is Georgia's flaw. No game wreckers. So that's a very, very valid point. I mean, we're used to having that guy in the middle that's going to get that push, and last year that was Jalen. So far in the season, we've seen Warren Brinson have flashes where he's been pretty good. And had that extra something about him. But you're right. When we're talking about guys like Tramel Walthour and we're talking about Zion Logue, those are not the dudes that are going to blow things up in the middle. They're going to be wonderful, steady players, but they're not that explosive game wrecker kind of guy. I had thought, and we still may see this as we move through the season, I really had expected a little bit more from Michael Williams, but he's messed around and had a little bit of sickness during the season. He battled an injury early on. And the same goes for our linebackers. I think that we're going to start to see some of those younger guys start to get a few more reps in those, I don't know, what do they call it, the Ferrari package or something, the Cheetah package. They have some name for it where they put in their best pass rushers. I think we're going to see some of those younger faces here down the stretch. And they're with the linebackers like Smile and maybe some of those freshmen that are getting playing time right now. They're going to manufacture some pressures, I think, because, like you said, they're going to have to. And that doesn't mean that they won't be effective because they've been effective in the past with it. We would all love to have Jalen Carter, man. There's no doubt about that. I would like to think that we could overcome it, but we will see. We will see. Yep. Welcome in 225. I appreciate that.
What's up, Herb?
I was going to say.
Thanks for sneaking in the bathroom, brother.
That's it. He snuck in the back door. You're late. Raj was already here, Herb.
Yeah.
You see, he's like, I'm still working, so I snuck in the back. I appreciate it.
I love it.
That is commitment. I'm going to take a drink just for you, Herb. Here we go.
That's right. Oh. Cheers, brother. Way to go, Herb.
Now here's a key. This is a good point right here, though. Bear Alexander, the guy who hit the portal and went out to USC, he was supposed to be that disruptive dude in the middle because the one thing he was really good at was being an interior pass rusher. There's no doubt about that. But, of course, he went out there so he could go 9-3 and get a penthouse apartment on the USC dime through NIL. So, whatever floats your boat, brother. That's what I say about that. But, like I said, we'll do what we can with what we got. All we need is what we got. Isn't that what they say? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Okay, so now let me do a little juggling over here. Let me bring up a different card.
Herb, it's the Woodford Reserve, brother.
Woodford
Reserve.
Oh yeah. See, you missed. I'll give you one too, Herb, since you asked. See, I'm rocking the Four Roses. No product placement here, no endorsement, but check it out. Oh, that's a great sound. That's good stuff right there. This is Bulldog Bourbon ASMR. That's what we're doing up here tonight. All right, so let's do this. Let's jump back into the screen share here. Let's look at this week, okay? Let's look at this week's games. So here I am messing around. I left it on top 25. Let's go ahead and jump into the SEC right here, Joe. Let's pick some SEC games. Let's see how long it takes this thing to respond. There we go. All right, so let's get on this. Let's get on these SEC games. We kept the people waiting long enough. We're half hour into this thing already. All right, so here we go. Looking around the league now, I see Tennessee, Alabama is coming up second on the list, and we usually take these things as they come. Not this week. We're going to wait on Tennessee, Alabama because I got a lot to say about that one. So Mississippi State and Arkansas. Joe, these are my boys. This is Arky, pit boss out there with the Razorbacks, and Mississippi State seems all kinds of out of sorts. I'm going to keep this one simple. I'm picking Arkansas simply because they're at home, and I just can't trust Mississippi State. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm going to go Arkansas too, just because why not? I mean, every time I picked against them or whatever the case has been this season, I've lost. So I'm just going to go with what you're saying, and that's Arkansas. So here we go, Arkansas.
Oh, Herb's like, I'm in the bathroom right now. Don't make me wait on the game. It'll be available on replay, Herb. All right, let's move on down. I'm going to be as good as my word. We're going to wait just a second. There's not many SEC games. We'll get to it in a hurry. So South Carolina and Missouri. Now, Carolina, I guess I can see them choking that one away last week the way they did at home. Shane Beamer came out there, broke his doggone foot. Broke his foot, kicked a Gatorade bucket or whatever, broke his foot, and then led his press conference with that information as if we all cared. I don't care that you broke your foot. I cared that you can't field a team right now that is going to help, make Georgia look better by beating them on some teams. So they're struggling a little bit, and they're on the road at Missouri. Brady Cook's been playing out of his mind. The wide receivers are doing all kinds of things out there at Missouri. Joe, you're going to have to break down and come on over to Darth, Missouri. You're going to have to come over to the dark side, man. I have to pick Missouri here. Who you got? If you drink enough, can you pick Missouri?
I'm trying. Because I'm gonna have to pick Missouri too. I don't even know what to say. South Carolina, God Almighty, South Carolina.
I know.
Here's Missouri.
Here's the question though: is Shane going to be out there on one of those knee rolly things? No,
he's going to be in a boot. He's going to have a boot on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to roll them knee things on grass.
Okay. Well, I think it's turf out there. You can put down a plastic tarp. Oh, okay, fine, whatever. Put him in a boot. Hobble it off, Shane. That was dumb. Kicking some dumb. That's just dumb. Okay. Ole Miss and Auburn. Who you got, Joe?
Ole Miss and Auburn. Who cares? But just for the grin of it, I'm going to take Ole Miss. Why not?
Why not?
I swore off old Blue Pants earlier, but I hate Auburn, so I'm going to go with Ole Miss.
You know what? I think Ole Miss should win this game.
Yeah.
But you have to keep in mind that Jordan-Hare Stadium was built on an Indian burial ground that was covered up with old UFO wreckage. Crazy things happen at Jordan-Hare. Is that enough to make me pick Auburn this week? I think Auburn's going to get somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. They're going to sneak up and get somebody. This would be a good story if old Hugh Freeze beat his old team, wouldn't it? Is that reason enough to pick Auburn this week at home? My brain tells me I should pick Ole Miss, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna pick Auburn. I'm gonna pick Auburn. And I think this might be the one they get, just because. I may just handed you a victory right there, but that's what we're doing. Oh, back in the virtual world. Here we go.
Don't even know. Yeah.
All right. So this next one isn't going to take us long at all. Yeah. Army is showing up at Death Valley down at LSU. I think the Bayou Bengals, I think they're like a 30-point favorite or something in this game. I got LSU. I'm sure you got LSU.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you can run the triple option, and shorten the game. It's not even going to be close.
All right, there you go. Maybe LSU get out of there without some injuries or something. I'm sure that's worth it. But that LSU defense, though, not great. I'm just saying that might be closer than people think. All right, Tennessee and Alabama. So I've gone back and forth on this one, but this is clearly a marquee game in the conference this week. And I'm of a couple different minds on this one. Because, Joe, what is the fast, hard rule in football? Run game, defense. They travel. And when you go on the road, you got to play good in both of those areas. And Tennessee, so far this season, has done a good job in both of those areas. Their defense is absolutely improved. They're among the nation's leaders in sacks. The run defense, not so good, but they can get after the passer. And then if you're talking about, what is that audio? Well, maybe it's just in my ear. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Oh my God, that is annoying. Shh.
I don't hear it.
Okay, good. It's just in my ear. I hope y'all didn't hear that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I couldn't even think. Okay, so run game and defense travels, right? And Tennessee's been good, but they haven't been good against the run, okay? So, and offensively, they are anemic. The statistics are not Tennessee's friend offensively. Alabama, on the other hand, I don't know who they are, right? I mean, I hate to say it out loud. They're an 11th ranked team, but does Alabama suck? Do they suck? No, I don't think they do. But they're not what we expect them to be, right? Jalen Milroe.
Mildew?
Yeah, it came out. Sorry, that was an accident. It came out, but he's not able to hit the intermediate pass, right? They don't run. The run game has been getting better, but they can't pass block for nothing. They've given up the most sacks in the country. It's like 32. I don't know. They're right down there with Colorado. Tennessee can really get after the passer. Everything tells me that this is going to be a low-scoring game and that the matchups are going to be very interesting, right? Because Tennessee's defense is improved. Alabama's defense front to back is better. Tennessee can get after the passer. Alabama can't block anybody in pass pro, right? Alabama, their interior line is pretty doggone good against the run game, but Tennessee runs the ball really well so far this year. I'm back and forth. I really, really think that Tennessee might be the way I have to go, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Alabama, even though it doesn't really make sense, and I don't trust Alabama at all, other than their defense. I think this is going to be a classic rock fight. I think that Tennessee is going to be made one-dimensional, and then Alabama's going to put the Viper squeeze on them, the boa constrictor on them on the run game, and the offense is going to make enough plays to get out of there with like a, let's say like, I don't know, 24-13, 24-14 kind of win, something like that. But I'm on Alabama this week, Joe. On the third Saturday in October. What say you?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, you talk about Tennessee traveling. Hang on just a second here. Hang on. I just, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I just had to check it out. They had to scooch in here and tell me a little bit about my auto warranty. But before they did that, I want to let you know that I was told that Tennessee gets the win.
Oh, back-to-back years. They get a streak against Alabama.
Yep. I'm going to take Tennessee. I think they're going to go down there, connect on the long ball a little bit, and Alabama's not going to be able to run it and win it. They're going to have to score, and I don't think they will.
Wow. So, wow. How was Tennessee going to score, though? Did you tell me and I missed it?
Something about an auto warranty. I couldn't hear it, but just let me
we don't know
scooch
how
in
they're
here.
going to do it. Somehow they're going to score like enough
They're going to score. They're going to block a kick. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, but you're
Tennessee goes on the road in the white unis against the win.
Wow.
And Alabama.
Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right, so I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to take a quick look here and just hit this chat real quick because there's some good stuff happening over here. Herb's letting us know he's keeping it straight. He's telling us Ole Miss, Mizzou, he's taking them both, and Joe drinks over 3.5. There you go. So that's a pretty good pick. And, of course, friends don't let friends pick Auburn. We all know how that goes. Oh, look, Mrs. Beast is in the house tonight. She's letting us know she doesn't care for Auburn. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that she doesn't care for Auburn?
I don't care for Auburn. He doesn't care for Auburn.
So there you go. Jay, they're still rolling in here. Now, Kel's letting us know he thinks Ladd's going to step up and be big for us now. And the Dogs are certainly going to have to figure that out. They're going to have everybody step up and help out right there. All right, so here you go. Herb's throwing rocks at the train. He's like, Joe's picking against Alabama again.
Yeah.
I think, is that something we can count on now? Is that what it is? Death taxes and Joe picks Middle Tennessee State against Alabama.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. So as I
Herb, I
promised
love you
earlier-
though. I love you.
Love him. It's all good. It's all good. We love y'all being here with us. So I'm bring back the two shot right here because I'm about to reveal where we are in the season standing so far. We still got some more games to pick, but before we pick those out of conference games, let's just take a quick review and see where we are. Now, again, keep in mind, this is our picks through week 6. We didn't pick week 7, took vacation week, but this is where we are right now in the race for the trophy here on the SEC Powers Hour. Are you ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
All right, let's see how we stand. Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Your boy came in at 9-1 on the last week we picked, and Joe rolled in there. He was throwing flyers everywhere. He went 3-7. Didn't work out for the show. Didn't work out for the show right there. And as you can see on the updated season standings, I currently have a 10-game lead. So that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to catch the old boy at this point. Gonna be hard to do.
Double digits, man. Double digits.
Well, I took a flyer. I did pick Auburn this week, so Herb may never forgive me, but that's it is what it is. What are you gonna do? There's a few other people on here that say something like that. They say it is what it is. So there you go. Here we go. Let's check this out. UT win helps Georgia. That's all. That's fact. That's fact. If Tennessee goes in there and gets that win, that's over a ranked opponent. And then when Georgia heads up to Rocky Top, it's going to mean that much more. Not that it needs to mean anything more, because that one means a lot already. Spence is in here. I don't think I've seen Spence in with us. Let's get this comment on the screen. I hate Bauer's injury, but I've never seen a freak out like this. One player doesn't affect the outcome as much as people seem to think. Light years ahead of anyone on the schedule in talent. That's what we believe to be true. And Spence, if you haven't, I would encourage you to go back and watch my podcast from last night because I go way into it and walk you through all my thoughts on it. I think you'll like what you hear as far as all that's concerned. So I'm with you there. But thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate that. Thanks for dropping in with us. So let's take a second here, and I'm going to navigate us right back over here to what we have left. So we need to get back to we're going to knock out a couple of ACC games, and then we're going to move to what's left in the top 25. So that's how we're going to play it. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's jump back into this and to the screen here so we can see what we're actually picking, what we're actually looking at here. So we're going to take a look at this Duke and Florida State game. Now, if Riley Leonard were playing for Duke, this is a game that I would really give a lot of thought to, right? This is a game that I would really want to find a way to let Duke win. But the bottom line here is that Duke's going on the road, and I don't think they're going to have Riley Leonard. And with all that said, I think Florida State's going to get this win. Is the game at night? Does it give us a kickoff time? I'm not even sure. But yeah, 7:30. So it's a night game. Yeah, so I think Florida State's going to be too much for Duke here, Joe. What do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk about Florida State a little bit because we got Jeff Cameron, my boy, that visits with us here on WRBJradio.com, and you can find him at warchant.com. Of course, he follows Florida State. And I like the Dukies. I'd like to see them be able to go on the road and get a win, but they're not in Florida State. They're not going to get that done in Tallahassee. So I got to go with the Noles and my boy Jeff Cameron down there at warchant.com. Check him out.
Okay, so we're both on that one. So I can live with that. That's fine. I think that's a smart pick there. Now, this next game, Clemson and Miami. This is ugly, Joe. This is ugly. It don't matter. It's already ugly in Miami, right? Those people, what Miami fans there are, they are irate right now with what's going on with old Cristobal, Mario down there. So if they lose, it really is going to become a viper pit, for Miami. Yeah. Now, Dabo spent the week calling his donors and fans bandwagon fans if they dare question him. Now, that's a pretty dumb move, if you ask me.
Yeah, Dabo might want to reel that in a little bit, bro. Reel that in a little bit.
He just keeps walking right on out there. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Maybe, I don't know what he's doing. but he called him straight out. He's like, y'all shouldn't question me. And if you do, then you ain't a real fan. I'm like, okay. That's me paraphrasing just a little bit, but that's about what he said. If Clemson loses, this would be their third conference loss before Halloween for a program that won 2 titles, not that long ago. So they're still a good football team. They're still a good program, right? They're just not elite anymore. So I don't know. I don't know who I want to pick in this one. You got a lean?
I don't know. I'm looking at the line here and trying to see what's going on there. Clemson's given 3.
That's what
is that
it
what
says.
that is? 3?
That's what, I don't know if I agree with that either. I'm not even sure that the line's right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one for me to pick because, you let Georgia Tech beat you, Miami. I mean, they got beat by Bowling Green. And how did you lose that game, by the way?
Awful.
How did you lose that game?
Awful.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. Clemson,
they're just not explosive. Clemson's just not explosive. They got Shipley at tailback, who's a baller. That kid can play. Everybody else, I couldn't tell you who they are, honestly, as far as their skill position players are concerned. I mean, I'll be beyond the quarterback, but Miami just seems to have hurt themselves more than other people have hurt them. So I'm on Miami. I'm going to pick Miami.
I'm going to have to go with Clemson because I think Miami is just too inept. They're going to make too many mistakes on their own to beat Clemson. So I'm going to go with Clemson on the road.
Well, there's not a lot there that's going to make anybody argue with you. Again, after what we saw against Georgia Tech, I mean, that was I can't even. I don't know that I have ever seen a situation that went down like that. That was and then I'm not even certain the dude fumbled. I'm not even certain he wasn't down. I mean, he might have been down, but then to have it play out that way, and malfeasance on the coach's part. How's that for a good word? Is a
big word.
Sipping on some bourbon. That is busted out on you there.
Big word.
All right. So, we just got the top 25 games left to pick. So while I find the correct screen here, because it takes just a half second to get there. I got to tell you, Joe, just looking at our season standings, I'm starting to doubt your ability to catch the old big brother there. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to swing that one. I mean, Yeah,
it's going to be tough. I don't know about all that.
Well,
but I will remind our friends here that are watching and engaged in our show.
Yeah.
If you want to go over and visit our friends at Trophy Smack, be sure to do that. Go to WRBJradio.com and click on that Trophy Smack link right above the Powers Hour logo. And take a troll around, find yourself a prize, pick one out and make sure that you deliver your victory and style and fashion through your Trophy Smack prize that you get. Because I have a feeling that I'm going to have to be giving up some kind of trophy this year. I don't know if I can come back from 10 down. I'm not sure how I got there. I thought we were solid.
You thought we were brothers.
I thought we were good. I mean, I came into this with a strategy, right? Pick against Mizzou. Pick against Mizzou. That was my strategy. Alabama, you got to pick against Bama. Got to do that.
Got to do that.
Yeah. Got to take old Blue Pants, right? Got to take that one. And Texas A&M wins the West. I mean, I thought it was solid.
I thought I was in good shape, but not really. All right, so
turns out,
we just got a couple more. So here we go. Utah and USC. Now we're going to pick this game because let's face it, Utah has been USC's daddy the last couple of years. They have beat them like a yard dog, physically whipped them, right? And last year, USC fans, like all weak fan bases do, used Caleb Williams' injury as an excuse for why they lost to Utah. Right? They're like, he was playing on one leg. I'm like, well, then maybe he shouldn't have been in the game. How about that? If he's that hurt. Whatever. Moving on. This year, it's Utah that's hurt. I don't believe Cam Rising plays. I don't believe that he's going to play this season at this point. I think he's going to take a medical red shirt. if he comes back and plays for Utah at all. That means that they're still riding with that backup. USC was putrid the last time we saw them. I don't know that they're going to be any better against a very physical Utah defensive line, secondary. I mean, if they just hit USC in the face for 3 or 4 quarters, they're going to quit because they're soft. SAWFT, soft. So, I don't know. Who you got, Joe? Who you got?
Oh, man. It's hard for me to do it, but I'm going to have to, what is it? Is it this or is that Star Trek? I don't know. Is it
No,
V?
it's just like the classic peace sign.
Yeah.
You going to fight on?
That's what I'm going to have to do there because I think Utah, I'm going to fight on with the Trojans. They'll get a win at home. They'll break the streak for Utah.
Okay. All day long, I told myself that I was going to take USC. I just figured they can't be as bad as they were last week, and they'll just score too much for Utah to keep up with. And then I sat right here, bourbon inspired, and told you how Utah was going to punch them in the face, right, for 3 quarters and make them quit. And I've almost talked myself into picking Utah to keep the streak going. Just because you picked USC, I'm going to pick Utah. How's that? We're going to have some separation right here. I'm on Utah.
We already got 10 game separation.
Just because Show went with fight on. God, I can't believe I'm doing that. I feel dirty by doing that. Oh, that hurts me right there just to do that. Yeah, well, can we do that? Does it? That doesn't hurt me as bad if we do something like that. I don't know. Spock it up. Okay. Oh my gosh. And C225, she's keeping it real right here. She's like, that's the new normal. Teams and fan bases just pull the "we lost because our player was hurt" card. I tell you what, man. Nothing just that's how you know somebody is just, you're either straight up delusional or they just really don't know anything about the game, right? I mean, this is a bang 'em up sport. People get hurt all the time. It just is what it is. It's part of the game. You can't get away from it. So I'm on Utah. Give me those Utes. Punch them in the face. SAWFT, soft is what I'm going with right there. All right, so let's get back up here to the other game that we need to pick, because this is probably the game nationally that's getting the most attention. I mean, yeah, everybody's looking at Tennessee and Alabama, but here you've got a top 10 matchup in the Big Ten, Penn State and Ohio State. I've got people telling me in my comments, Joe, that the top 5 teams in the country, 3 of them are out of the Big Ten. They tell me that Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. I don't agree with that. I was like, who you got? Go ahead. And listen to the voices in your head and let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah. How are you? Who are you picking? And if you will, tell me why, because I'm interested.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, I have to put on this because I believe I'm watching this in a virtual world. I can't believe that I'm sitting here having to pick Penn State and Ohio State.
I know it's an SEC show.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how I lured you in. That's how I lured you in.
It really is.
I lured him with an SEC show.
I am going to go. You like the pause? I was just going to see if you thought I was froze there on the screen. I wasn't real sure.
I was hanging with you. I was hanging in there.
I have no reason, but I'm going to pick the Nittany Lions. I'm going to pick the Lions. I'm going to pick Penn State over Ohio State in Ohio State.
Oh my God!
In this, yep. I'm going to pick Ohio State. Ohio State to lose at home. That's what I'm going to do.
Losing in the shoe. All right, so here we go. Here's my pick on this thing. Now, before the season started.
Anyway, Jay. Anyway.
All right, we're going to give Joe some love. Joe feels like he's been taking it on the chin tonight. There it is right there. Jay giving him some love. There we go.
Jay.
All right, so here we go. So before the season started, I looked at those top 3 teams, the only 3 teams in the Big Ten, honestly. You know, I love football, but those were the 3 that everybody's thinking about. And I said, there's no way that they're not going to beat up on each other. That's just how I see it going down. And then the more I thought about it and I looked at what deficiencies I thought Ohio State had, I'm like, they might actually be the one that comes up on the short end of the stick here. Then they started playing games. And what I saw about Penn State is Aller is good, but he's inconsistent. However, when Penn State gets down the field, when they get down there in the low red zone, they punch it in the end zone. Like, they are really good finishers. And that defense is pretty doggone salty. When I look at Ohio State, was it Kyle McCord? He showed me a little something against Notre Dame, right? He showed me he's a gamer. We know they still have players at wide receiver, but we also know that they still have a really not that great offensive line. They've got some serious issues there. And that run game, pedestrian at best. So I'm
loving
you,
your
Joe.
chat.
I'm with you. Penn State goes into the horseshoe and beats Ohio State. Ohio State's going to end up with multiple losses. Now, with all that said, let me just let you know, in case you put the stat in your back pocket, old crying Ryan Day is 35-0 against all Big Ten opponents not named Michigan. That tells you about the quality in the Big Ten. It's a 2-team league. Nobody else really matters. Not this year, though. I don't trust James Franklin any farther than I can throw him. I fully expect he's going to do something boneheaded in this game. But at the end of the day, I think the run game Penn State has, that salty defense, and their ability to finish is going to get the job done. Penn State beats Ohio State in the horseshoe on Saturday. That's where I'm at.
I'm just loving you boys in the chat over here. I'm loving it. Some Hayesbringer. Anybody beat up on those sissy? Those Buckeyes. Yeah, I feel you, brother.
All right.
Right there with you.
I like it. I like it very, very much. And the other guys are in here. Time for crying Ryan to lose. Harry's with me. Again, that record is what it is because the Big Ten is what it is. I mean, but
Terrible.
it's going to be interesting to watch what happens in the Big Ten in all seriousness going forward because they got that new TV deal. And I think if you're going to shell out that kind of money as a TV corporation, right, as a business, you want a better product. Because who's going to be fired up about Indiana Rutgers in prime time? That's what you're going to have moving 24 and moving forward. They are going to have to get better. They're going to have to prioritize football in that conference across the board. And I know that you've got the other teams coming in, but I'm talking about the traditional Big Ten teams. They have to get better. If they don't, nobody's going to watch those games outside of the one or two every year. So, just my 2 cents on that. So there we go. So Joe, we've taken it right up to the end here. Oh, wait, quick shout out. Thomas is in here. Thanks for dropping in a comment, man. I appreciate you dropping by.
For the win.
Hayesbringer's in here. I got him on the screen, so let's do that. Let's get him on the screen right here and let everybody know. If you don't know Hayesbringer, check him out. Find him here on YouTube. He does good work breaking down film and stuff like that. We've bantered about on some stuff over the last few weeks. I like what he does. He lays it out pretty good for you there. Nice and simple and in a short format so you can understand it. So that's good. So with that, Joe, any final thoughts before we wrap up yet another successful, I would say, SEC Powers Hour? Any final thoughts, man?
No, I just I appreciate the love in the chat. Being down double digits coming into the week. It's good to have my support there. Yeah, you just keep that up. Y'all keep it real. Check out my link on the Trophy Smack. Let's get some ornaments up in here. Let's see who's going to come away with the biggest shiny trophies at the end of the season. But it doesn't matter to me. 10 down, 10 up. I got the bourbon in the cup. That's all that matters.
Oh, Joe busting out some bars on us there. He's hitting us with some rhythm. Spence checking in right here at the tail end. I like the show. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's good. We just trying to have fun over here, man. That's all. And like I said before, there's lots of goodies in the description below if you're on the YouTube channel. If you're not, jump over from Facebook or Twitter, wherever you are, hit the YouTube channel, look at all that stuff down below. There's lots of good stuff in there, man. We're trying to have something for everybody. That's the way we're looking at it right here. Oh, what do we got right here? Choice of beverage. Just for that, one more ASMR. How's that? I'll leave you with that this evening. Friends,
hey,
I hope you go ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Before you let people go, I want to show y'all something. Randy, my brother, bought these bourbon glasses for me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you have to chase the cup of bourbon down because it's rolling all over the desk. That ain't funny. That ain't fair. Why you gonna get somebody some bourbon to drink and then make them chase the glass
It keeps it
on
moving.
the desk?
It's the aroma. It helps. You get it up
Haze
in
Bringer.
here.
I don't even know what to say. about that.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about that though, because the more you drink and that glass is rolling around, that's hard to handle. I'll give you that.
Chasing the glass around them.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fine. I didn't even think about it that way. All right, y'all. Like we say every week, thank you so very much for being here. Seriously, we appreciate it. This show's a lot more fun when you guys are here with us and we can play off of the comments and stuff like that. Excuse me. We'll be back next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock. We'll pick those games. Until then, enjoy some college football this weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends and your family. And we'll see you next time. Joe, before I go, I got to let you know, go Dogs.